Hello and welcome everyone to another Starcraft 2 England cast. Today I have got a game between Grubby and spekkiO. Now Grubby is in the bottom left position playing as the blue Zerg, and we have got spekkiO as the red Protoss in the top right. Now the map is clearly Shakura's Plateau, and key things on this map is obviously it's very easy to wall off your natural with cannons and gateways and stuff, so we will probably see spekkiO do it over here and go for a forge fast expand, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. Now Grubby actually playing as Zerg, so not his standard race, but he probably will play fairly well anyway, because obviously Grubby is a top-notch player. And if we take a look at the base here, we have got the pylon coming down at the natural, so it's going to be a forge fast expand. Grubby going for the 7 pool. So Grubby's like, you know what, I'm not going to play Protoss today, I'm just going to 7 pool a Protoss player. And actually a 7 pool against the forge fast expand is very strong. And actually it's going to turn out that spekkiO will scout the wrong way, so won't know this is coming until it's actually on top of him. So a bit unfortunate kind of positioning wise there. Obviously Grubby will know exactly where to go, because this Overlord will get over here and not see anything, and because this is a ladder map there is no close by ground positions. So obviously that was changed a few patches ago and was appreciated by many players. Now here we go, spekkiO is going to come in and he is going to see that this pool is already built, and there is going to be that oh shit moment for spekkiO where he's like, crap, that is a spawning pool. And very quickly getting this forge down, and he's going to have to do more than get a forge, because the cannon won't actually be built in time. He's going to have to build more stuff and get this wall off complete, otherwise he could start taking some large damage. The other option he has got, of course, is drop a pylon in his mineral line and get a cannon there in order to not take damage, but ideally he wants to make sure that he doesn't lose all of this, which he would if he went for that cannon in his mineral line. So spekkiO now coming down, he's saved up quite a few minerals, so a gateway is going to go down, and he has got enough minerals to build that next gateway there, and he needs to get a cannon and that gateway down, otherwise he will have Zerglings in his base. But actually choosing to get that photon cannon first, he should just have time. He will get the minerals up to be able to drop another gateway there. He's got to get something quickly. I mean, those Zerglings are there. You've got to build something, spekkiO. spekkiO build up there just in time. Perfect timing, so that gateway is coming down. But it won't actually stay up because it's got surrounded by too many stuff, so it is going to get cancelled, and the Zerglings are going to get in the base, are going to focus fire down that cannon. The probe is going to try and deal with some of those Zerglings. Meanwhile, Grubby's just like, yeah, I've got a lot of units in your base, so I'm just going to macro. And while he's macroing, he's going to delay so much mining time. All the probes for spekkiO have been pulled. Meanwhile, Grubby's just going to run around these Zerglings and just delay mining time even further. A cannon is coming down as well. I mean, all the while spekkiO just isn't mining anything, so it doesn't actually matter that Grubby isn't killing any probes. The amount of mining time he's wasting of spekkiO just by running these Zerglings around, getting the Roach Warren there, Grubby. So going to be following this up with Roaches, and obviously Roaches are strong, especially when they've delayed so much mining time. The cannon is done now though, so these Zerglings do have a limited lifespan, one dying already to that cannon. Meanwhile, spekkiO is quite a long way behind, purely because he's lost so much mining time. If you take a look at Grubby's base, he has just got those Roaches. It looks like there was a pause there or something, so probably why things did go a bit funny. Sorry if there was any lag. But we'll see that spekkiO only now just getting his first assimilator. More mining time being lost here by harassing with those Zerglings. And there's nothing else going in the front. There is one Zealot coming down, but obviously one Zealot can't hold all of that area. And I mean, Roaches will be coming out fairly quickly. Grubby taking his expansion now. And 2 Roaches are on the way. Obviously Grubby needs to start building a lot of Overlords, because Roaches do take up a lot of supply. And still more harassment going on. These 3 Zerglings are still alive. They are getting chased around by a Zealot, but obviously Zerglings are quite a bit quicker than Zealots, so can just keep harassing. Still a second Zealot out now, and if spekkiO micros those correctly, he will be able to pick off all of those Zerglings with relative ease. But instead he's just going to chase them, and that is not how you need to do it. If you want to actually take out those Zerglings, you need to control, you need to just leave one chasing and get the other one to try and cut them off, just so you can get some hits off. But meanwhile, Grubby has got his expansion halfway done, and is just getting these Roaches out. Got 3 already, 2 more are coming, and I mean, it's not going to be long. He's going to go in for a push, I would imagine, but there is now this Cybernetics core up. There's only a small bit of ground there, but these Zealots are nowhere to be seen. They're just still running around trying to kill these Zerglings. So these have to be the most immortal Zerglings you have ever seen. They are being chased by 2 zealots, but no one can actually catch them. It's like a greased up pig running around like you do in some competitions. I don't know if you've ever seen one of those. They're really, really weird, where they just get like a pig and grease it up and get like people to try and catch it, and it's nearly impossible. But here we go, the roaches are coming in, and they do have vision of this high ground from that overlord, so this cybernetic score not going to last long at all. There is a stalker being chrono boosted out, but that could be one of the last stalkers of this game if that cybernetic score does go down. But I apologise there. That stalker is now finished and is going to have to micro back those roaches, although the stalker coming forward taking a lot of damage there. And still Grubby's just going to keep chipping away at that cybernetics core using the overlord for the vision of the high ground, but that will get taken out if he's not careful. But these zealots are going to go down to the roaches unless they're pulled back, and that stalker is way out of position there and is going to die. And now losing that stalker is quite a big loss at this stage of the game. That second stalker is out though, moving into range of the cannon. The cannon will do big damage to the roaches. Grubby wants to pull those back. Meanwhile, if we go to Grubby's base, we will see that he's got good saturation. He's not actually going anything else, getting a spire down, so he does have his lair, and going for a spire now following up from this. So very, very early Mutalisks will be coming in, and as you can see, spekkiO just doesn't have enough stalkers to deal with Mutalisks at any stage at the moment. I mean, he doesn't even have enough gateways, his expansion isn't down, and this is all because of the amount of mining time lost very, very early on by that 7 pool. And if we take a look, only 2 gateways down, 2 gases, and now this overlord will finally die, which will supply block Grubby temporarily, but it doesn't really matter because Grubby just seems to be sending drones around to go and build expansions. One up here, he was trying to build an expansion down there, but it will get picked off by those stalkers, so that's not a huge loss, but it just means that there won't be that hidden base for Grubby. Grubby now grabbing some spine crawlers ASAP because there are some stalkers coming in. He's getting a lot of Zerglings as well. Zergling speed has only just been started. It's only about a quarter of the way done, but there was a lot of Zerglings and only 2 stalkers. Obviously that creep tumor will go down. Creep is needed in order to be able to get the surround on those stalkers effectively with slow Zerglings, but still, Grubby's just going to harass them, and it will force those stalkers back because there's just not enough stuff to deal with all of that. Meanwhile, this zealot is going to go and scout out for that third base. Will be interesting to see if he goes up into the very corner to see if anything else is coming out. Meanwhile, the first Mutalisk is on its way, and obviously there just isn't enough stuff to deal with Mutalisks. There's only 2 gateways there, 3 gateways, plus 1 on its way, and the zealot will actually go and scout out that hidden third base, so that will start taking damage, but there's just so many Zerglings which will all obviously get pulled back. Meanwhile, Grubby does want that hidden base, so yeah, using a lot of Zerglings in order to cover that drone in order to go and take that hidden base. Now that zealot is going to die when those Zerglings finally get their speed. Will finish any second. That first Mutalisk is out, but spekkiO actually going for a double Stargate play here, and obviously double Stargate isn't going to be very effective because there are Mutalisks coming out. There are going to be +1 Mutalisks as well. The evolution chamber on its way for Grubby as we speak, and that zealot has been cleaned up, not going to do any damage. The 4th base is on its way for Grubby as well now, so I mean, this is going to be interesting to see what happens. 8 more Mutalisks on the way, so Grubby really starting to build up those Mutalisk numbers, and if he just goes and starts pushing, there's not enough to deal with it, I don't think. There is a few stalkers, but no cannon in the mineral line, and a lot being invested in these Stargates, which won't be able to do anything. They are getting Voidways out, but obviously those Mutalisks will completely murder Voidways with relative ease. And now we've got some patrolling Zerglings around here, just making sure this base stays up. Meanwhile, this base hasn't been spotted. There is a Zergling here, just providing vision of when spekkiO does try to go for his third, if he does at all. But meanwhile, 2 Voidways are on the way out. They are getting chrono boosted, both of them. But here come the Mutalisks, and no cannon in the main mineral line, so a lot of probes are going to go down now. That Voidway could get sniped out very, very quickly. Is going to get focused down by Grubby, so straight away that Voidway is going to go down, and that is a big loss. There is a Stalker being warped in, and spekkiO is going to move his forces back, but by moving those forces back, he's exposing his front, and there's a lot of Zerglings positioned here. The Mutalisks are going to move backwards, and Grubby not actually yet running in with those Zerglings, and there are some probes moving out just to try and complete the wall off, realising that he is exposed there. Meanwhile, just taking up these the 4th and 5th, no, the 5th and 6th gas, sorry, and I mean, once he gets those going, he can really start ramping up that Mutalisk production, although he has got quite a few already, especially at this stage in the game. Obviously, Phoenix are on the way now, so the Phoenix will be quite effective against the Mutalisks, as will the Voidways be very good at taking out this base if he does manage to get over there. But meanwhile, there's just a lot of Mutalisks everywhere and a lot of Zerglings, so the Zerglings are always a threat of counter-attacking. But having said that, there's some Phoenix coming over now. They will get a lift off. Here comes the Spore Crawlers, but I don't actually think they'll finish in time. But obviously, the Spore Crawlers and Voidways, the Spore Crawlers and Mutalisks will be able to deal with the Voidway Phoenix army very, very easily. The Queen is going to get lifted up and will get taken out. The Mutalisks are coming in. Now, the Phoenix can deal with Mutalisks relatively efficiently, but here they come straight in. One Phoenix is going to go down very, very quickly. The Voidway is getting targeted because obviously they are the main damage dealers. And there is one Spore Crawler up as well. Another Phoenix goes down. Two Phoenix goes down. And obviously, if Grubby does manage to keep those Phoenix numbers down, then these Mutalisks are going to be extremely strong. Meanwhile, Grubby's fourth base is just slowly building up the drone numbers. And spekkiO has no idea that's even there. A Spine Crawler and a Spore Crawler coming down there to defend that third. And as we speak, Grubby's just really getting everything in position. He's getting some Infestors out and Pathogen Glands, and this really shows that Grubby doesn't play Zerg very often, because his Pathogen Glands started at the same time as his Infestors. Any Zerg player knows that you need to wait for that to get about 30 seconds through before starting your Infestors. Otherwise, you won't be able to get Pathogen Glands when the Infestors do actually pop. So, always a nice little trick to know. But here we go, there's quite a few Phoenix there now, but all clumping up, and there was a big hit from the Mutalisks there, keeping their Phoenix numbers low, and another big hit goes off every single time. Two more Phoenix do go down, so that takes the number back down to 4. Now, +1 air attack is on its way. Now, also, we are going to see this Anion Pulse Crystals coming down from the Fleet Beacon. Now, this is the upgrade which was added in the latest patch. It increases the range of the Phoenixes by 2, and it was designed to help Protoss deal with Mutalisks. But obviously, for it to work, he has to not get those Phoenix within range of the Mutalisk in the first place. And if we take a look around, we will see that this base is pretty heavily defended. 2 spines, 2 spores. And obviously this fourth base is still unbeknown to spekkiO. Now, these Phoenix are just going to poke and prod around. Obviously, they are going to have increased range soon. And this is the first game I've cast where that upgrade has been researched. So, going to be very interesting. Obviously, though, Grubby is at 4 bases against spekkiO's 2. And that's showing in the supply count. He's just getting so many units out. A lot of Infestors. Infestors do fantastically against Phoenix. Phoenix are lifting up a couple of those Zerglings. And there we go. We are going to see that increased range get used. But obviously, you can't go in range of the Mutalisks if you are going to use Phoenix, because otherwise that range upgrade does nothing. And we are going to see the Infestors coming in. A fungal growth goes off, traps 4 of them straight away, and all of the Phoenix have now been caught up, and they are all going to go down to those Mutalisks very, very quickly. Grubby's in an amazing position here, 90 supply ahead, and there is the GG. So absolutely great play by Grubby, showing that when you really do get this good, it doesn't matter what race you play, you can beat the average player. So fantastic play by Grubby there. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also follow me on Twitter at SC2_England. Thank you very much for watching.